Hello everybody, welcome to today's lecture. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about pointing vector. Let me write its definition for you. Okay, this is the definition of the pointing vector. It is a vector which gives amount of energy of electromagnetic waves passing through a unit area held normally to the direction of propagation of EM waves. So it is denoted by either S vector or by P vector. So I will use this notation S vector. Let me now describe about the definition of this pointing vector. Okay, this is the situation. Though this is a beam of plane electromagnetic waves. Beam of plane electromagnetic waves. And this is traveling in this direction, that is direction of electromagnetic waves. So whatever is this direction, always the direction of propagation is represented by a vector. That vector is called k vector. This is propagation constant. It is also called propagation vector or propagation constant, and we know that the magnitude of this propagation vector is given by 2 pi by lambda, where lambda is the wavelength of the electromagnetic waves. So suppose this beam of plane electromagnetic waves is traveling in this direction, and we place an imaginary plane surface of area capital A. So this is the area of this plane surface. So I can shade this area. So let me shade this area first. So now I have shaded this area. So it is shaded with the yellow color. So you can see these electromagnetic waves are falling normally on this area, and the normal vector is n cap. Since electromagnetic waves are falling normally on this area, so therefore k vector and n cap both are in the same direction, and the angle between the surface of this plane and the direction of motion of the electromagnetic waves beam will be 90 degree. So suppose this is having let us say this area has value a. Let energy that is passing through this area, passing through this area is capital E, and time taken for this energy to pass, time taken is, let us say, T, and area of surface is capital A, and we make sure that EM waves are passing normally through this surface, that is k vector and n cap are parallel. Therefore energy passing per unit time, per unit area, it will be equal to E upon A and T. I must make sure that it is in the normal direction. So this is nothing, energy per unit area in a normal direction, it is E upon AT. It is nothing but it is intensity. we also sorry, this is intensity of the electromagnetic plane electromagnetic waves. We know about this. So therefore, as per the definition, Poynting vector will be this quantity. Can use the symbol capital I for intensity. So if the intensity is I, therefore, as per rule, S vector, that is Poynting vector, it must be equal to, as per definition, it is a vector which gives energy per unit area per unit time in a normal direction. So I can write it to be E upon AT into n cap, where n cap is the unit vector along the direction of propagation, or you can simply write it to be I into n cap. So this is Poynting vector. Let us now derive expression for Poynting vector. Let me call this as equation number star. Obviously, unit of Poynting vector, if I write it here, unit of S Poynting vector will be intensity, that is energy per unit time per unit area. It will be watt per square meter. And direction of S vector, direction of Poynting vector S vector, it will be same as direction of propagation, direction of propagation of electromagnetic waves. So these two things we can learn just from the definition of the Poynting vector. Let us now derive its expression. Okay students, we are going to find the direction of the electromagnetic waves. So I assume that it is written here. Suppose that the direction of plane electromagnetic waves is along x-axis. We are going to find the expression for Poynting vector. So this is the how x and y and z axes are shown. So this is only for your reference. So electromagnetic waves are traveling along x-axis. So k vector, it is always along the direction of motion of the electromagnetic wave. You can see k vector, which is the direction of propagation, and I cap, which is a unit vector along x-axis. These will be in the same direction because of our assumption. Because we have assumed that plane beam of electromagnetic waves is traveling along x-axis. Now we know that electromagnetic waves are transverse. Waves are transverse. We know this. So, and k vector, that is direction of propagation, and E vector, that is instantaneous value of electric field, and B vector, that is instantaneous of magnetic flux density or magnetic induction. All these three vectors are mutually perpendicular. We know this. I have already proved this. So you can if you want to see how this is true, you can see my previous lecture on the electromagnetic waves. It is you will find this lecture in the playlist whose name is classroom lectures, so you can find it there. So these are mutually perpendicular. So this I have already taken to be along x-axis. Now E has to be perpendicular to k vector. So suppose I take this direction to be y-axis. Now B has to be perpendicular to k as well as E. Since I have taken k along x-axis, I have taken E along y-axis. Therefore, flux density has to be along z-axis. Then there is no other option because all these three are mutually perpendicular. So it means I can take E vector along j cap and B vector along k cap. This is something which is trivial as per our this assumption. We can very easily digest this fact. So let me now write the equations of electric and magnetic field vector. We know that the solution for E vector and B vector in plane electromagnetic waves are given as follows. given as follows. Let us write these solutions and we have to remember these. Let me write these. Okay, these are the expressions for electric and magnetic field vectors in a plane electromagnetic wave. Kindly remember omega equal to 2 pi nu, which is also equal to 2 pi upon capital T, is angular frequency. And this is angular frequency of electromagnetic waves. This is the frequency of the electromagnetic waves. This is the time period. You should remember these things. And k vector is a propagation constant, and please remember k vector is equal to kx I cap plus ky j cap plus kz k cap. Similarly, you know that r vector, it is the position vector of some point x, y, z in the space where electromagnetic beam is being discussed. So it is x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. So you have to remember that we have made an assumption that for propagation along x-axis we can very easily waves propagating for waves propagating along x-axis propagating along x-axis we can very simply write k vector equal to k I cap. So therefore k vector dot r vector will be equal to simply k I cap into, it will be xi plus yj plus zk, and dot product will be there. You know that I dot I is 1 and rest other dot products are 0. Therefore we can write that k dot r will be equal to kx. This is equation number 2. Similarly, we know that E vector is along y axis only. So E vector will not have any x component or z component. Therefore, we can write E vector simply equal to E0 j cap. But also we know that B vector is along z axis as per my discussion in the previous page. Therefore, we can write B vector simply equal to B0 k cap. So let us say this is equation number, let me see what is this equation number. So this is equation number 3 and this is equation number 4. So with these modifications, our equations mentioned in 1, these will simplify as follows. Therefore, set of equations 1 simplifies as follows. So let me write the simplified equations. You can see these are the simplified expressions for electric and magnetic flux density, and we are going to take one step more. We know that if e raised to power iota x is expanded, it becomes, let us say iota theta is expanded, it becomes cos theta plus iota sine theta. You know these things. Therefore, real part of e raised to power iota theta will be equal to cos theta, and imaginary part of e raised to power iota theta will be equal to sine theta. And if we apply this knowledge here in equations 5, let me write the real part of e vector. So real part of e vector, it will be written as e0 j cap cos omega t minus kx. Similarly, real part of b vector, it will become b0 k cap and cos of omega t minus kx. So this will be the real values of E and B vector. Let us now find the cross product of real part of E with the real part of B. So therefore, real part of E vector cross with the real part of B vector, it will become E0, B0, J vector cross K vector, and it will be cos square omega t minus kx. So this will be, now we know that J cross K is I cap. We know this. So therefore it will become equal to E0, B0, I cap, and cos square omega t minus kx, and I can further write it like this. It will become E0 B0 by 2 and I cap, and it will be 1 plus cos 2 omega t minus 2 kx, where I have used standard formula of trigonometry. So let me write this as equation number 7. So we know that electric field is changing with respect to time and with respect to position. Similarly, magnetic field, if you see these equations, look at this. Electric field is changing with respect to time and position. Magnetic field is also changing with respect to time and position. So their values are always changing. So it will be good for us if we want to find the average value. Let us, we want to take the average value of this vector over large period of time. Now over a large period of time, you know that time period I have denoted it by capital T. So over a large period of time, let there are huge, let there are n cycles, let there are n cycles, there are n cycles of electromagnetic waves. So if I want to find the average value of this vector real E cross real B, then it will contain n cycles. So therefore the time will be nt, where capital T is the time for one cycle of a plane electromagnetic wave. So for n cycles, this will be nt. So let me find its average value on a new page. Okay, for your help, let me tell you, if we have three discrete answers, then the average value of A is given by A1 plus A2 plus A3 upon 3. This is the method to find the average value of a discrete variable. But if we have a continuous variable, let us say we have a function fx, we want to find its average value. So the average value of fx, it will depend upon the limit. So let us say we want to find the average value of this function fx from some point where the value of x is a to another point where the value of x is b. Then this answer is given by integration of fx dx divided by the difference in the upper and lower limit. So it will be b minus a. This is how the average value is found for a continuous variable. So next is that for a continuous variable, the expression for writing the average value is either you put a bar or you use carets around it like this. So this symbol, it is also called expectation value most of the times, and this symbol for this discussion of today's discussion, these are equivalent. So instead of writing this symbol for average, I will write this symbol for average. So let us write what is the average value. Average value, we want to find average value of real E vector cross real B vector over large number of cycles. Large number of cycles, that is 0 to nt, where t is time period. So therefore this will be written like this: real E cross real B average. So as I have described, it will be integration from 0 to nt of the vector real E cross product with the real B, and since I am integrating it over time, so it should be dt here, and it will be divided by nt minus 0. Okay students, let us now put the values of these quantities, and let us see what is the average of this vector. If you go to the previous page, you can see that this quantity, let me change the pen of color of the pen, this quantity RE cross REB, it is E0 B0 I cap upon 2 and 1 plus this thing. Let us now do it. This will be equal to integration from 0 to nt. It will be E0 B0 I cap upon 2, and it will be integration of 1 plus cos 2 omega t minus kx. This integration is over dt, and whole of this will be divided by nt. So if we solve this integration, this will become E0 B0 upon 2 I cap, and this will be, this integration, it will be 1. So this answer is actually E0 B0 I cap by 2. So kindly remember that integration of cos theta d theta from 0 to 2 n pi, or you can also write it like this: integration from 0 to nt for cos of any multiplier of omega t dt is always 0. This answer is always 0. So this integration will be solved very easily. Now you can divide both sides by mu naught. So if I divide both sides by mu naught, this quantity will become real part of E multiplied by a real part of B vector upon mu naught average, and this will be E0 B0 upon 2 mu naught and I cap. Please remember following result. Please remember that B vector upon mu naught is equal to actually H vector, that is magnetizing force. H vector is actually magnetizing force. Magnetizing force. So let me go to new page. Therefore, left hand side will become real of E cross product real of H, its average value, and right hand side will become E0 B0 upon 2 mu naught I cap. We know that the amplitudes of electric and magnetic field are related by following result: E0 upon B0 is equal to C. And we also know this result, that C is equal to 1 upon square root of mu 0 epsilon naught. It is the speed of electromagnetic waves. Speed of electromagnetic waves in vacuum. These standard results have to be remembered in vacuum. So if you write this, it will become E0 upon 2 mu 0, and from this answer I can write B0 equal to actually E0 by C. So this will be therefore E0 by C and I cap. Now I am going to do a mathematical trick. It will become E0 square upon 2 mu 0, and I will write it as C square multiplied by C and I cap. This is a mathematical trick. I have divided and multiplied right hand side by C. Now if I further simplify this, it will become E0 square upon 2 mu 0 into C square is actually 1 upon mu 0 epsilon 0, and this is C, this is I cap. Mu 0 and mu 0 will get cancelled, this epsilon naught will go to the top. So therefore real of E cross product with real of H and its average value, it will be equal to half epsilon naught E naught square and C and I cap. But intensity of a plane electromagnetic
Excuse
wave,
me, sir.
yes please, please remember that intensity of plane electromagnetic waves is given by intensity I is equal to half epsilon naught E naught square, where E naught is the amplitude and into C. So this right hand side, this result which I am putting in the box, you have to remember. So this is therefore simply I into I cap, intensity and multiplied by I cap. But if you see the previous page, rather the first page, you can see here I have convinced that yes, that this let me change the color of the pen. That pointing vector is intensity multiplied by n cap. N cap should be a vector in the direction of propagation of the EM waves, or you can see n cap is a vector along the direction of propagation of EM waves. But in this article we have assumed that EM waves are traveling along x-axis. So instead of n cap, we can, if you see this page, I have taken the propagation. You can see this propagation of the EM waves is along I cap. So therefore n cap is definitely replaced by I cap. So as per the definition or as per the expression mentioned in page number 1, this quantity I into I cap, it is nothing but S vector. So therefore we have proved that Re of E vector and real of H vector, their average value is equal to S vector, that is pointing vector. Pointing vector. So you can give the statement to this, that pointing vector is the average value of cross product of real component of electric field and magnetizing force. I hope you will enjoy today's lecture. Moreover, if E and F, if E and F, H are real in a given problem, then we can simply ignore this symbol Re. We can simply write S vector is equal to average of E vector and H vector. So kindly remember this formula that I am writing now within the box. It is only for special cases where E and H are real, but this is applicable everywhere. So I hope you will find this formula useful. Thank you. Thanks a lot.